Oh man. Guess there's no turning back now, huh?
Right. Our only option is to press on.
The Courageous Two is engaged in a fierce battle, and my father and those at the Pales are still far away.
Right. And all our other allies are scattered across the continent.
The only ones here are us and our foes.
In addition, the war is surely underway by now. Though the first day will only be light skirmishes, I've no doubt that by tomorrow it will be a bloodbath.
Yeah, the Imperial Army's advance was halted in Liberal and Remiferia. But I'm sure before long, they'll deploy my dad with the 3rd and 4th Armored Divisions.
Cassius guessed that the Imperial Army has a 60% chance of winning. If he's right, Erebonia will take over the entire continent, and so will the curse.
And then the Great One will have total control over everything. Everyone on the continent will become its servants, just like the gnomes.
Even Mille Mirage, our only plan to stop them, will cause millions of casualties. That carnage will lead to the Great One's completion as well.
Indeed. Were that to happen, a new battle would begin. One that may very well lead to mankind's extinction.
So no matter what happens, we're gonna go through hell.
We can't worry about any of that now. This will be the turning point.
Right. Everything's resting on this. But you know what? It doesn't really faze me. Probably because we're all here together. As Class 7.
You're right. We finally have every member of Class 7 back with us. Including my sister, and Ash.
Aw, Tilly! I'm glad to be back too.
Hey, I've been back for a while. Don't go digging up old crap.
Now that I think about it, this really is the first time we're all together. Crow wasn't with us when we fought the Dark Dragon.
You're right, Emma. He was still on the wrong team back then.
Hey, get off my back, okay? Can we just let my dark past go already?
It's your own fault. Let's not forget your little stint as C either.
Looking back, the whole masked terrorist persona you had was rather cringe-inducing.
Just admit it, Crow. You love that edgelord look.
Don't call it that. I looked badass, okay?
The world's about to end, but look at us. Same as always.
Maybe it's because the world's about to end. But now, we know what we need to do. All that's left is to move forward.
Yes. Every member of Class 7 will move as one. Together we are a single blade, forged by our bonds.
Agreed. This may be the greatest challenge we've ever faced, but I know we will rise to meet it. As a swordsman of the Vander School, I must fight for what I believe in, no matter the challenge.
Yes, and the Panzer Soldats are in top condition. I trust they'll be of some help in the battles to come, alongside Ordine.
Got it. Thanks. Okay, listen up.
Hold on there, Reen. You think we're gonna let you do the big speech all by yourself again?
Crow's right. You've been hogging the spotlight on your own for way too long.
We talked this over and decided we should do this as a team.
So let's all give the final order together.
It's a big responsibility, but you don't need to do it alone. Share it with us.
Okay, you win. Let's do it then. But only if you promise to make it the best one yet.
You bet.
Sheesh, way to put the pressure on.
Members of Class 7, our final mission begins now. Fierce battles await us. The Vermilion, Auric, and Ebon Knights stand in our path.
And we'll also need to face their Awakeners. In the Vermilion Knights sent Cedric Rysay Arnor, Crown Prince of Erebonia.
Rufus Alberea, the Jade Rook, leader of the Iron Bloods and the Governor General of Crossbell. And now, the Awakener of the Auric Knight.
Claire Revelt, the Railway Military Police's Icy Maiden, will be waiting for us there as well. Though she's not an Awakener, she'll stand against us as one of the Ironbloods.
Same goes for Scarecrow. Major Lecter Arundel,
member of the Intelligence Division and another one of Osborn's Iron Bloods.
Ouroboros will also stand in our way, such as the mysterious Enforcer number 0, Campanella the Fool, the Grand Master's right hand.
Not to mention Bloody Shirley, the sanguine ogre. She'll probably be with the prince.
Mariabelle Croyce, Ouroboros' third Anguis and the daughter of Crossbell's former mayor. Also known as the Wellspring Alchemist. She's a genius with a twisted personality.
There's also Enforcer number 1, McBurn, the almighty conflagration, whose full potential is still a mystery. Perhaps that wavering shadow you saw was his true form.
There's also the chief of the gnomes and head of the Black Workshop, Franz Reinford, now known as Black Alberic.
And finally, the Awakener of the Ebon Knight, Gileath Osborn, the Blood and Iron Chancellor. He is also the reincarnation of the Lionheart Emperor, Dreikel's Rhysei Arnor.
Not only is their power in a completely different league from ours, they'll be well prepared. But we're just as ready as they are.
It's taken us 2.5 years to get here, and we've learned a lot on the way. And on top of all that experience, we have the spirit of Thor's and the will of the Radiant Wings at our backs.
There's no way Gramps and the others are gonna beat us. We'll take them on anywhere, anytime.
Right. All that's left is to prove it. There's no barrier we can't overcome. After all, we're Thor's Military Academy's Class 7.
We shall lend you our power.
Defeat the other Divine Knights and put a stop to the Ebon Knights' madness.
I'll be with you guys every step of the way.
The Imperial Fortress is, what, 1,200 years old? That's not bad for a final stage. Now, everyone, let's get started. Let's bring an end to this crappy fairy tale, once and for all.
Right!
Sup, guys?
We've been waiting for you.
Instructor Claire.
You seem pretty sure we'd show up.
The odds were about 50-50. After all, you'd have to get past the Glorious, the Ions, and disable all the salt pails. If it were anyone else, I'd give them maybe a 1 in 1,000 chance. Nah, maybe more like a 1 in 10,000.
And despite the odds, you managed to succeed. Perhaps it was fate.
It's not fate. It was all thanks to our determination.
Milliam.
Wow. Guess the rumors were true. You really threw us for a loop at the Grawl, huh?
Yep, but it was super hard pulling one over on you two. Especially you, Lecter. I really had to get clever. And by that, I mean I snuck off while Eustace and Rufus were fighting.
I'm amazed you managed to pull that off with everything that was going on.
You really got us, Milliam. But I guess we only have ourselves to blame.
Yes. Among the Ironbloods, Milliam was always the quickest to learn and adapt. Meanwhile, we were each trapped in our pasts. We had no choice but to accept the curse. We even treated Altina as if she was nothing more than a tool to be discarded.
Claire! Major Claire.
If you feel that way, why do you still insist on standing in our path? Not as the Ironbloods, but as the Knights of Blood and Iron.
Those whose fates are intertwined with the curse of Erebonia. Its keepers. The keepers whose fate is to fall in this tragic fairy tale called the Great Twilight.
Yeah, that's our job. Our final role, so to speak. We're the conduits linking the fires of war below to this fortress. There's no way you're gonna win against us, unless you bring out your divine knights.
That's...
The curse has linked them to the fortress itself.
The path further into the fortress won't open unless you defeat us. Throw everything you have into this fight. Your divine knights, panzer soldats, everything. Defeat us here, and perhaps you stand a chance of putting out the flames of war.
Major Claire.
Why?
Fine. We'll fight you if we must. But we don't need the Divine Knights or the Soldats to beat you. In fact, we won't even need our entire group.
Go ahead and use whatever powers you're getting from the fortress or the curse or whatever. Doesn't matter how determined you guys are. We're gonna break through.
That's right. Your determination will never match ours. Because you're both so focused on your past mistakes while we look to the future.
Ouch.
Nice one.
She's right, Instructor Claire!
There is no honor in fighting foes who have already given up.
So come on, show us what you really believe in.
Okay. I'll give this everything I have.
All right then. Guess it's time for me to get serious.
Good luck, everyone! Claire and Lecter, give it your all too!
Told ya.
The war below has greatly amplified the fortress's power. After we linked to it, you should have had no chance of victory.
Man, you're really beating the odds today, aren't you?
That's right. After all, we defeated the Jaeger King and the Steel Maiden.
Learning and growing are both part of being young. And I'm right there with you guys.
Keep telling yourself that.
If anyone can make it to the end, it's you guys.
Defeating us has opened up the path ahead for you. There's not much more I can do now besides wish you luck.
Altina!
Okay.
Now, Instructor Claire. None of that.
We thought it might come to this.
Damn. How'd you guys know?
Though the two of you may have built your reputations on being inscrutable.
You were fairly predictable this time.
The way you are now, you couldn't bluff your way out of a paper bag.
You lost. Just accept it and move on. Take some time to rest, you know?
You're right. That might be best.
We're going to go on ahead now. But you two also need to see this through to the end. Ereboni is going to need you both after we've put an end to the Great Twilight.
Yeah! You gotta do your best for me too, okay?
Reen... Milliam... When you put it like that, I guess I've got no choice.
Sheesh. You guys are really asking a lot of us. But you're not in the clear yet. The Crown Prince and the Sanguine Ogre are waiting. You're the only ones who can put a stop to this. Good luck, guys.
Look who's finally here!
Your Highness.
We stand before you as members of the Radiant Wings, Thor's Class 7.
The Radiant Wings? My, what a fanciful name. Straight out of some fairy tale or another. Yet as we speak, the real world is ablaze with war. Those flames feed the Imperial Fortress, magnifying its power and hastening the Great Twilight's climax. It is at that moment that the rivalry of the Seven will reforge the Septarian of Steel, all for the sake of the reborn Lionheart Emperor, Chancellor Osborne!
So you knew.
I doubt His Majesty would have told you.
I had a vision when I first joined the Ironbloods. Perhaps it was the Arnor blood flowing through my veins, resonating with the soul of my ancestor. What I saw only renewed my conviction that this path was the right one. The most powerful Chancellor in Erebonian history and its greatest Emperor. This is the man I've chosen to follow. Can you even imagine what an honor it is to walk in the footsteps of such greatness? To contribute to his cause? No. Of course you can't.
Your Highness.
He's completely lost it.
Yes, he may have lost his senses, but he's still both powerful and dangerous.
What a time to be alive, right? There's so much action going on down on the surface. I'm sure Daddy and the others are really tearing it up. Thinking about this whole war, though, it kinda leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Huh? Shirley.
Are you dissatisfied with our agreement, Shirley?
Nah, not really. Sure, it'd be fun to raise some hell with the others on the front lines, but I chose to come here. At first, it was just because Lady Belle asked me to. But now, I want to see this through to the end.
Very well then. I trust you'll fight with your full strength. We'll need it to prepare the stage for the rivalry, after all. Though the victor should already be clear.
Yeah.
Despite being outnumbered, you seem confident about your chances of victory.
They're probably counting on the fortress to lend them power.
Indeed, Lecter and the Icy Maiden may have squandered its power. But unlike the two of them, I am the Vermilion Awakener. I can harness it to its full extent.
Such sinister energy.
I can feel it. The fortress has granted me power, and the energy from the war is flowing into me too. If I'm not careful, I'll end up slaughtering you all. It wouldn't do to make you an immortal now, would it, Reen? I'll take care to let you live for the sake of the rivalry. Even if you're barely clinging to life, it should still be fine.
You... A true noble would never act so disgustingly arrogant.
Your parents and your sister would be ashamed to see you now.
And also, Prince Olivert.
They're the ones bringing shame to our family. We are the descendants of Dreikel's Rysei Arnor, the Lionheart Emperor. It is our duty to carry out his will. It is written in the Black Records themselves. What further evidence do you need?
Hey, Prince Cedric. Let me ask you something. What are you so afraid of?
What? You've been a serious pain in the ass, but to be honest, I kinda like your style. Way I hear it, you used to be one hell of a scrawny shrimp, but you worked your ass off and actually got pretty strong. I mean, you're no match for me, but still.
Out of everyone at Thor's, you earned the top score on the midterm examinations. Your academic and military records are exemplary. You're more than suited to one day inherit the future of Erebonia.
Yet it's apparent there is something you lack. A good leader, a good person earns their people's trust through compassion and kindness. Traits you seem to be sorely lacking.
You're going to lecture me on what it means to be a person? You? A homunculus cooked up in a lab?
This is exactly what we mean. You saw what Allie and Milliam did back at the Grawl.
Altina was prepared to sacrifice her life to protect us. From you, no less. And it was Milliam who saved her, and the rest of us, by becoming the Sword of the End. They may have been artificially created, but their selflessness made them more human than any of us there. How can you not feel anything after seeing all that with your own eyes?
Kurt.
So what?
But when it comes to your brother and your dad, you start getting all worked up. And then when your sister tries to help you, you fly off the handle at her.
Don't you see, Elfin? That's exactly why I must do this! I'm just as glad as you to see him alive again. But feelings such as that are only for the weak!
You have this strange need to deny the love you hold for your family. Further, you have no consideration for others, yet the Chancellor's words are as holy scripture to you.
It doesn't make any sense. You realize it too, don't you?
You're the ones not making any sense!
As you said, the rivalry of the Seven's purpose is to reforge the Septarian of Steel. Each of the participants must have unshakable resolve. Let's say you are able to defeat Instructor Reen and Governor General Rufus. Cedric, are you truly prepared to fight Chancellor Osborne, the man you've chosen to follow?
What are you two reading this time?
It's one of Olivert's books. He's so cool. There's nothing he doesn't know.
Only because Mueller and Zex drilled so much into my brain. When you grow up, you'll learn all sorts of things too. The two of you may even put me to shame one day.
You don't have to call me Your Highness. You can just call me Cedric. I've always been jealous of how close our brothers are. We should be friends too. I mean, if that's okay with you, Kurt.
Of course, Cedric. We can be just like our ancestors, Emperor Dreikels and Roland Vander.
I've been having trouble sleeping lately. Whenever I start to drift off, that vermilion shadow appears. It's all around me, as if it's trying to swallow me whole.
Is that so? He must be another sacrifice. Or perhaps he finds himself in a similar situation as Dreikels once did.
What is that thing?
It should go without saying that it is all around you. It's part of you now, after all. More importantly, our dear Crown Prince is doomed to waste away at this rate.
Huh?
I suppose we have no other choice. I am hesitant to suggest it, but allow me to make a proposal, Your Highness. There's a chance you may forget all about this, so please, take your time and think it through before you give me your answer.
Why did I looked up to Chancellor Osborne. I truly believed supporting him was my duty. How could I have said such horrible things? How could I have done such things to my own family?
It's as we thought.
He finally snapped out of it. Yeah. He was under the control of the gnomes. No. The Ebon Knight.
Huh. Figured it was something like that. You started acting weird during all that crap at the Grawl. Maybe it's a stupid reason, but since our weapons share a name, I wanted to see where this went.
Huh? I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Hey, get your shit together, Princey boy. So what if you're scared or embarrassed? You're really only here because you're being controlled? I don't buy it. It doesn't matter how messed up the truth is. It's still the truth, and it's still your truth. You accepted the Ebon Knight's call. You wanted power for yourself. It's easy to blame someone else, but you know the real reason you came here. It was your own selfishness. If you can't admit that much, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Hey now!
No, she's got a point.
Yeah. That would be a good first step.
That's right. I was so envious of Alfin, of Olivert, and of Reen and Kurt. All of you. I was envious of anyone who had the potential to become a true hero. All my life, people have compared me to Alfin. They would constantly talk behind my back. I know they found me lacking. And I've always envied Olivert's intelligence and his freedom. It's my fault he felt the need to relinquish the throne. You too, Kurt. I was born so weak, and I've always looked up to your strength and swordsmanship. But even so, you held on to that ridiculous complex of yours simply because of your build. As for the rest of you, you came to my rescue. You fought the Vermilion apocalypse to set me free, and lost Crow as a result. Through all that, I was always sitting on the sidelines, watching tales of heroes unfold before my eyes, unable to join them. Had I enrolled at the main campus when I was supposed to, we might have become friends. I could have become one of you.
Your Highness.
I had no idea.
Looks like he's finally ready.
Thank you, Shirley. And I thank all of you as well. You made me confront my weakness, and now I'll overcome it!
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe we should have just kicked you when you were down. Would have been easier that way.
Still, I think a fair fight's better.
I agree. It's pointless to fight someone who's busy fighting themselves.
Very well. We accept your challenge. Instructor Reen, everyone,